Hey Jenna, hey Shelly. I'm going to get you up to date with the What's New With You section. And I'm going to start off though, I made a tribute to my Aunt Kathy who passed away the other day. And if you hear water in the background, that's my little fountain running there. We start with my Aunt Kathy, and there's a nice big picture of her with her little dog Molly. And in the background I've got a mountain with flowers and the sun shining over the mountains. And then there's also pictures below of me with her from August 2022, me with her from August 2019 when we went to visit, summer 2022 with my mom, picture of Kathy with her mom, my grandma, in the late 60s, and then a real old one from the early 60s of Kathy and myself at a Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner table. She's got her hair up in a bun, and I've got a little bow tie, and I look silly, but hey, whatever. And it says, "Rest in peace, Aunt Kathy." And then it says, "When my mom separated from my biological father, we left Renfrew behind. That also meant we left all our relatives in Renfrew behind as well. Growing up, we'd visit the valley as much as possible, but sometimes some relatives fall off the radar for one reason or another. Aunt Kathy would be one of those. I remember her from when I was a kid in Renfrew and from our summer visits when we were teens. But then we lost touch. Fast forward to 2019. My mom and I were going to the Ottawa Valley. We would be staying at my cousin's trailer at Mink Lake Campground, Cedar Beach. We'd need to get some groceries once we got settled in. The closest town is Eganville. We could get groceries there. It was also where Aunt Kathy lived, so I made sure to get in touch with her to let her know we'd be in town, and we paid her a visit. We had plenty of catching up. We had plenty of catching up on. Whatever. We had plenty. Whatever. Not that's. We had plenty to catch up on. That's what it should say. And it was great to see her. Mom and I repeated that routine in 2022, same bat time, same bat channel, and once again we visited Aunt Kathy. This time around, her grandson Xander was living with her, and she had a new dog named Molly. It was another wonderful visit. Kathy contacted me in early March to sadly share her health diagnosis. Despite treatment, she was not getting better. Kathy told me she didn't think she'd see spring flowers. A few days later, I called her, and it was such a great phone call. We both had lots of praise for each other. A few days afterwards, Kathy was the subject of Scribbles Spotlight. She liked that very much. On Sunday morning, Kathy sent a goodbye message. She would be using MAID this day. That's the medically induced assisted passing away there. She was at peace and going to meet the angels. She told me her granddaughter Amanda had filled her home with beautiful spring flowers. It was the least I could do, Amanda would later tell me in a heartfelt exchange of messages. Aunt Kathy, I'm touched that I was part of your life at 3 different points on our life journeys. You made me smile and were my source of info on what that side of my family were up to. It's definitely an end of an era for me. Fly high, new angel, fly high. Over to the side we see a picture, and there's 3 tulips fully bloomed in a flower pot, and it says Sunday, March 22nd. That's when that picture was taken. And underneath it says, "So this happened, ... Last Thursday while doing groceries, I bought some tulips that they had on sale for $3. You got 3 small tulip plants, not in bloom, in a small pot. I brought it home and put it with my other plants. Sunday, I saw the message from Aunt Kathy. She sent it at 8:50 a.m. and it was now early afternoon. I sat on the sofa and read Kathy's goodbye and thought of her seeing spring flowers around her thanks to her granddaughter. Then I looked over at the tulip plant. All 3 bulbs were in bloom." So that was something. Okay, so now let's see the next post. Who's a nice lady. Okay, now we have the What's New With You, and it was from March 20, I think 22nd is when I actually posted it. And it starts with a little editorial, and it's called Its Own Reward. And there's a picture of me with my leather jacket. I'm obsessed with that leather jacket. Hello, friends. I always enjoy putting together a new edition of Scribbles What's New with You. The process is I check out Facebook and save copies of your photos to my computer. Then, periodically, I sit down and cobble it all together. What you see below is the results. This edition features lots of dogs and cats, plus there's some cute kids, friends proudly aging, raging, and engaging, book signings, and more. We also have a brief concert review featuring Queensryche. Man, I need some coffee here. In a time when the world seems to be in turmoil, I firmly believe that there are still more good people out there than all the evil and bad ones that we hear about way too often. There's still more people that are doing nice things for others. They aren't in it for views on a social media site. They do nice things because it's the right thing to do. You don't need accolades when the act itself is the reward. With that in mind, I give you our new edition of What's New with You. Something to inform you and perhaps make you smile. Keep on scribbling, and it says Kenny. Okay, I gotta close the window, it's cold. Hang on. Whew. That's better. The sun is deceiving. Alright, so the first one we see a little kid. She's sitting on a chair, and behind her are massive amounts of paperback books. Yeah, I think they're all paperbacks. Maybe some hardcover. On bookshelves. And it says, our Scribbles friend Julia posted this cute photo of her 1.5-year-old granddaughter, Isabel, at Barely Used Books in Parry Sound. At the rate Izzy is growing, it won't be long before she can read some of these books. But for now, we're admiring her smiling face as she sits in the comfy chair. And it's just so cute, all these books around her. Next we have our Welland friend Emily participated in her first ever speaking contest and came in 3rd place. Emily's mom and dad, Karen and Stephen, were very proud of her, and so is everyone at Scribbles. Way to go, Emily. And there's a picture of her, and she's got like a medallion around her neck and a little certificate in her hand. Next, St. Catherine's Scribbles friend Lorenzo has a new book out called Future Scent, and he's working the local circuit to promote it. He was at Fonthill's first book expo in February, where he sold and signed copies of his book. And there's a picture of that below. Lorenzo will be at Coles in the Penn Center on March 27th from 4 to 8 p.m. for another signing. So you see a picture of him in front of Coles, a picture of his book, and then a picture of him signing copies at the Book Expo in February. Now we have a picture of our friend Joan Riley. Beside her is her daughter, and Joan's got a sign saying, it says, aging, raging, engaging. It's handwritten, looks great. And underneath it says, it's always a treat to share what our Scribbles friend Joan is up to. And that's good, because she's always regaling us with photos of her adventures. This time around, she was attending Niagara's International Women's Day March with daughter T.S. Women and girls attended, said Joan, many with signs and all with determination. She also wore her, quote, pussy hat her niece Christian knitted many years ago. I love seeing this, Joan, and your sign slogan is something I might steal and post on my fridge, LOL. And we have a picture here. It's of our pal Bradley. I think he's from Hamilton. There's always time for pancakes and sausages, mused our pal Bradley after a trip to Denny's. He's at Denny's there, and you can see the Denny's sign behind him. So there's always time for pancakes and sausages, and he's smiling there. And then I wrote, great, now we're craving pancakes and sausages. Thanks a lot, Bradley, LOL. Underneath that, we have a picture of our friend James and his dog, and it says, our Niagara friend Jamie said that his adorable dog Ellie is ready for spring. Raise your hands or paws if you are too. And she's a little brown. I don't know what kind of dog she is. That looks like maybe some Shih Tzu in there, but not the normal Shih Tzu color. We got more doggies. Now we have our friends Liam and his mom Shannon, and they have a little doggy now. And it says, we're fairly certain it was love at first sight for our new. Let me try that again. We're fairly certain it was love at first sight for our Scribbles friends Shannon and son Liam when they met their new furry roommate, Lucky. Your new pal Lucky is very adorable, and it's just this little brown, I don't know, golden doggy. I don't know what kind it is, but I want to just scoop it up. It's so cute. And we have happy 8th birthday Brutus, and it's a little bulldog. And when our Niagara pal Jocelyn posted the photo above, she wrote, happy 8th birthday to the most dramatic, snack-obsessed, side-eye king around. Well, there you have it. Now bow down to the king. Woof, woof. Beneath that, we have drag queen Ebony LaBelle. And there's a picture of her posing. And then over to the side, we've got a couple more pictures of her. She was at a meet and greet. And on either sides of her are members of the Pride Niagara Committee. And then there's a picture underneath it. They've got their backs turned because they've got Team Ebony on their t-shirts on the back. So she's still posing with them. And it says, Niagara drag sensation Ebony LaBelle brought her talents to the recent season of Canada's Drag Race, and she made it all the way to the top 2. Outspoken drag queen Van Gogh took home the win, but our girl Ebony gave Van a run for her money. It was a very tight race, and Niagara's LGBTQ+ community is proud of LaBelle's achievements. Congrats, Ebony. Second place is still a win in our books. Below that, picture of a little kitten, and it says, and a picture of Stephanie, or the kitten's mummy. Our Scribbles pal Stephanie recently entered her cat Bibi in a Best Pet contest. Every day for several weeks, Scribbles pals got to vote for Bibi, who made it almost to the top 10. And this was America's favorite pet or something. So it was a lot of competition. So that's quite an accomplishment. And we have another one. This little puppy, the black and white fuzzy puppy. Now this one I really do think there's some Shih Tzu in there. And it says, Superstar. That's the caption. We introduced you to Scribbles pals Norm and Renee's cute new pup in February, but at that time we didn't know what this wee furball's name was. We can now report that this is Star, and according to Renee, she wiggles around a lot every time they try to get some pictures of her. She is so damn cute. OMG, I could just eat her up. Figurative, of course. Keep the pics coming, Renee. And we have 2 pictures of little Isabel, the one that was sitting up there amongst all the books. Well, now she's in her playpen, and beside her is a black and white kitty and a black Rottweiler dog, I guess that would be. And they're all, nice and nestled up close to her. And then in the second picture, she's kind of petting the kitty a little bit. And it says, just a girl and her pets, said Scribbles' friend Jade when she posted these 2 photos of daughter Isabel and her furry playmates. Below that, we see 4 deer in the snow grazing. Well, looking for something to eat, maybe. I don't know, but they're in the snow. It's a pretty cool picture. You get a really good view, especially the deer in the foreground. You get a good view of that deer. And the caption says, oh dear, had to do it. We meant to feature this photo a while back. It was taken by Nova Scotia friend Paula and posted by Scribbles artist pal Amy. We love this, Paula. Next, it's a picture of Catherine and her dog Teddy. I met Teddy a couple of years ago when he was a pup. Her and I and Mr. Sock and Teddy went to see the bench commemorating her father, Jim Steele. So she's posted a picture of the dog looking over the edge of the couch, kind of sad, and it says, we love the caption our Scribbles friend Catherine gave the photo above of her dog Ted. And it says, I don't care how icy it is out there, Kath. Go get dressed and put your spiked boots on and take me for a walk. Catherine's late father and major Scribbles fan, Jim Steele, used to post photos of his dog Joe Friday, and he always gave those photos clever captions, like the photo on the right. It is great to see the family tradition continue, and to have the honor of sharing it with all our wonderful Scribbles friends. And like, there's a picture of her with her dad, and then there's one of the Joe Friday things where Jim's got Joe Friday in like a little pseudo headlock, and he's holding a piece of a donut in his hand, and it says Jim is supposed to be saying, "Joseph Friday, show me what you did with the keys, and you can have the rest of this donut." Below that, it says, "Ta-da!" and it's a picture of our pal Gil, who's a magician in Niagara, and he is #1 in platinum status in the Community Votes Niagara region. And the caption is, "Our longtime Scribbles friend Gil was chosen as Magician of the Year in Niagara Community Votes 2025. This is the second consecutive win for Magic by Gil. He also received the title in 2024. Congratulations, Gil. It's not an illusion. You are #1. And a picture of my mother and Kim, my sister, and then I just shoved a cake in front of it. First, Mr. Sock and I celebrated my sister Kim's birthday with her. Then, a few days later, Kim celebrated once again, this time with our mom, because we're not doing the big family parties for birthdays anymore. And the final post in this section is a little review of the Queensryche concert that you and I, Shelley, went to with Julie, and I said Dana. I think it's probably not Dana, but whatever. And there's a picture, small picture of the three of you that was taken at a different concert. I stole that one. Then a picture of the lead singer from Queensryche belting out part of a song. Underneath, there's a smaller photo if you can see the crowd. And then there's more underneath. I'll read that in a bit. It says, "It has been a while since I attended a concert, and it was my first time at a show on the OLG stage at Fallsview Casino in Niagara Falls. I was there to see Queensryche and Quiet Riot, thanks to comp tickets Shelley's pal Shelley had. Her friend Julie also had tickets, and she drove to the venue. Their friend Dana was also in the group. The OLG stage is an impressive venue. It's not actually at Fallsview, it's attached to the casino via an overhead pedestrian walkway. Quiet Riot were first up. Between songs, there was some banter, and the lead singer asked how we were doing tonight, Toronto, LOL. After a brief intermission, Queensryche would then rock us hard. I love their ballad, Silent Lucidity, and I got all choked up when they performed it. That was the main reason I wanted to go. That song, hauntingly live. And even more impressive, they knew they were in Niagara Falls." Below that, we have a picture from a previous concert of you and I, Shelley. And it says, "This was my first concert in a long time with my friend Shelley. Once upon a time, we did several smaller local shows. Life and family stuff kept me away from more concerts, but Shelley hasn't stopped or slowed down. She has a goal of attending 500 concerts, and she is currently in the late 300s, at least I think you are." And then there's one more photo, and it's a group of people, and it says, "We didn't see each other, but later I discovered our friends, local rockers and Scribbles friends Bobby Rock and Shane, were also at the show. Here they are with some of Queensryche, and it's a picture of them with the band, for Christ's sake. Too bad I didn't see them there." The next post down, it's not actually part of What's New With You, but it came out around the same time. And it says, "Scribbles friend captures our Canada in stunning new painting." And it's a picture that our artist friend David Hallett painted. And it says, "So proud to compete." Sorry, try that again. Jeez, I need coffee. "So proud to complete this painting for my show," said artist and Scribbles pal David Hallett. "This piece is called Our Canada. It's acrylic on double wrapped canvas. You can find it and many other pieces by David on display and available for purchase at Station 1 Coffee House in Grimsby. Our Canada is absolutely stunning, David. Everyone at Scribbles hopes your show is a huge success." And the painting is like, you see the water, And there's a little tiny little island of rock with a couple of pine trees and a tree that looks like it's dead. And you see the reflection in the water, and then behind it there's mountains and trees, and the water looks so real. Very well done. Acrylic. I like working in acrylic. And then there's a little ad. It says, Wonderment, paintings by artist David Hallett, exhibits until June 4th at Station 1 Coffee House, 28 Main Street, East Grimsby. And then sadly below, there's a picture of David with his dog. Rest in peace, Lily. Our condolences to David and his partner Luke on the passing of their beloved dog Lily on March 6 at age 16 and a half. Lily was a perfect fur baby and will be greatly missed by family and friends. Sorry for your loss, David. Below that was the Count the Clovers contest, which was a separate video that you probably already saw. We have the St. Patrick's message from Mr. Sock, which you would have saw. Then there was a video of the bed in a bag that I purchased. It's black and gray stripes with kind of a burgundy stripe in it, and then matching shams. Got some black pillows, looks pretty good. Kim's birthday video, a tribute to our friend Paula, 18 years after she passed. And there's the spotlight. Now this was the spotlight from Aunt Kathy that I posted on March 15th. And this was a couple days after talking to her on the phone and knowing that she wasn't feeling well. Now, the spotlight says, Today's spotlight is a very special Scribbles friend. It's my Aunt Kathy. Kathy lives in the picturesque town of Eganville in Ottawa Valley. She's the only member on my biological father's side of the family whom I remain in touch with. When my mom and I were in the valley in 2019, 2022, we made sure to get together with Kathy, who was sharing her home with her dog and grandson, Sander. Kathy enjoys gardening and had some impressively high plants growing during our last visit. And the high plants, they were like big, tall plants, but they were also pot plants. She is also a major puzzle fan. When we visited in 2019, Kathy was working on a very special puzzle of her dearly departed previous dog. There were many pieces to the puzzle, and I was impressed because I lacked the patience required to put something of that size together. And then there's the Happy Birthday Belinda video, a reunion with a diva twist. Okay, and the picture of our friend Marsha's cat, Queen Beatrice. She's all chubby and posing, and it's a cool picture that Marsha has on her Facebook page. And then a smaller picture of Marsha. And it says, It's been a hot minute since we featured our artist friend Marsha on Scribbles, and there's a story to how we reunited. Recently, I was in hot pursuit of a leather jacket, so I did the thrift store circuit. One day, after no success at the first place, I ventured into MCC Thrift. I spotted a jacket and went over to check it out. As I was eyeballing it, a voice said, Hello, Kenny. Yes, it was indeed Marsha. Marsha. LOL. Now that she's retired, Marsha has volunteered at the popular thrift store for a few years. We chatted, we laughed, we hugged, and we are friends again. I visited Marsha this week, so this was going back a couple weeks, where we got caught up on 14 years of life. Say what now? 14? Wow. Marsha shares her beautiful condo with diva Queen Beatrice, who also goes by B. B has a lengthy list of health issues, and she could not have found a better human. Marsha is a major cat lover and once worked at a vet's. Marsha, I really loved our visit, and I'm glad we got beyond that blip in our friendship. I promise it won't be another 14 years before we get together again. And let's see, one more. Yeah. No, I think you pretty much... Well, here's another, even more about you. It says, like mother, like daughter. Just a girl and a rooster, said our friend Jess above when she posted the photo of her daughter Haley with her feathery friend. They have roosters and chickens. So they're each holding roosters and chickens. Below that, we have Scribbles pal Mark, Michael, and Noel had a barrel of fun. You knew I would have to use that one. On a recent day at the tours, as tourists in Niagara Falls, and they're in the barrels that go over the falls. I think I did this one already for some reason. And then, when was this first posted? This was March 5th, so maybe not. And we have, wow, how can it be? Our Scribbles pal H is graduating this spring. Where did the time go? H and his mom, Tammy, have been a part of Scribbles ever since he was a wee baby. It's like one of her own has grown up, and you see him in his little grand outfit, and then you see him as a baby, and you see him with his mom next to it. Everything we just wrote about H could be repeated for our friend Emily, who will also graduate this spring. Emily, along with parents Stephen and Karen, have also been a part of Scribbles since Emily was a kid. 2 great kids, 2 great grads, so they're both going into high school. How sweet and romantic is this? Scribbles' pal Jay said, I'm grateful for my wife Courtney. I'm proud of everything she does and blessed beyond words to do life by her side. Aw, that's so nice, Jay. Could Scribbles be? That's so nice. Oh, that's so nice, period. Jay could be Scribbles' Valentine anytime. Okay, then. Then there's a big picture of Norm and Renee's dog. So this was the first time, and it was a close-up of the little puppy face, and then a smaller picture of you can see just how little the dog is on the dog bed. The dog bed looks huge, and the little tiny tuft of fur in the corner. It says, look how tiny Renee and Norm's dog is. Scribbles super fans Renee and Norm have a new arrival to their home. A precious pup who has no name at this time. And now we know it's a name. Now we have pictures of, where the hell was he? Costa Rica. Our friend Davey will have what he's having because he's got a big cocktail and a smile on his face. And then there's pictures of the swim up pool bar, and there's a tree frog and a sloth and some other critters, and then his friend that he went with there. Our Scribbles friend Davey and his gal pal enjoyed a warm and tropical vacation in Costa Rica. Chilling at the pool, enjoying delicious eats and refreshing cocktails. They did it all. And there were plenty of unusual critters like the cool frog and creature featured here. Lucky for Davey, we had lots of winter left, so he didn't miss out, LOL. More about you. They need KNEED each other. Scribbles' friends and eternal love bugs Sandy and wife Carrie had plenty of milestones lately. A 50th birthday for another anniversary, and most recently Carrie's knee. She had surgery on each knee only 6 months apart. Always a trooper, Carrie pushed through the pain, and 9 months later she's participating in a 5-kilometer charity walk. No wonder Sandy is so proud of her, and we are too. And that was the coldest night walk. She did it on February 28th, and Scribbles made a little donation. Beside it, we have Happy Miss Cleo, and it's a cute golden dog, smiley face, and a little inset picture of her daddy, Jeff. When Scribbles' pal Jeff posted this cute photo of his dog Cleo, he wrote, when she doesn't realize I'm taking a picture and sits for 5 seconds, I get a decent photo. That's such a good picture. And below it, well, there's another dog. Scribbles superfan Sally posted this recent photo of her dog Jade, who her family adopted 5 years ago. Happy Gotcha Day, Jade. So it's an older dog, and the dog was adopted 5 years ago. When I first did the post, I had said, Happy 5th birthday to Jade from Sally, and then Sally messaged me back. They got the dog 5 years ago, but she wasn't a puppy then, so it's not really her birthday, it's her gotcha day. Next to it are Scribbles' friends from, where the hell from? Brantford. Our Scribbles friends David and Jim posted this photo of their very chill dog Pearl, and she's like upside down, laying on the couch, little pink belly, she's a little tiny dog. Pearl, sound asleep on the couch. They really picked the weirdest ways to sleep, said David and Jim. Below that, Lola dreams of spring, and so do we. We love these photos from our Scribbles friend Julie featuring her furry pal Lola. Top right, a sweet black and white photo of Julie with Lola very close by. Bottom right, Lola on her birthday in January. Left, a brilliant flowery photo has us craving spring. This just in case you were curious, our pal Joe Friday is doing fine at his home with Jess and Matt. As you can see, he's getting lots of beauty sleep with his pals, and there he is beside the other dog, snoozing away. Next, Shane Christopher Neal can now be heard DJing on weekends on More 101.1. Way to go, Shane. Next, instead of spending big bucks to mail our friend Michael his prizes, one in our mini museum of cartoon characters draw, Ken dropped them off in person and got to see Michael's Disney collection. Very nice, Mickey. Rest in peace, Julian. Our condolences to Ken's neighbors, Dawn and Chris, on the passing of their cat, Julian. Julian was originally a feral cat who hung out in the backyard. When my nephew Graham was a kid, he'd play with Julian, whom we just called the black and white cat. When visiting me, Julian loved treats from me and will be missed. Beside that, Scribbles' friend Stacy was thrilled to share that her son Yosh in green jersey is engaged to his soulmate Adrian. Josh and Adrian have had a long-distance relationship for a while, and we are excited to see what adventures lay ahead for them. And you see one of him Adrian, they're hugging, and Adrian's got his ring on his finger and he's posing showing the ring, and then there's a smaller photo of the two families together at dinner. Below that, we're loving this photo collage featuring our pal Bobby Rock. We're assuming BR might have used AI to put this photo together, but there's nothing artificial about Bobby's talents and life skills. And you see him as when he's in band Every Rose. It's a Poison band, a tribute band, and he's got his bandana and his long hippie hair, but he actually doesn't have much hair left right now in real life, so he's got another picture of him from his talk show on the cable TV. And that's it, my friends. I think we'll wrap. Here's one. Justin's talents are as different as night and day. We'll finish off with this. Our friend Justin Preston is a PSW, personal support worker by day, and drag artist by night, and his commitment has not gone unnoticed. His friend Sam Kiss posted the photo on the top left. Here's what Sam wrote. It's a picture. Photo top left has Justin talking to a patient who's in a wheelchair in a nursing home. And then over to the side, you see a picture of Justin in drag. So you get the two different looks for Justin. And Sam wrote, "This is my friend Justin, who I met while living in Fort Erie. He's one of the kindest and most compassionate people I've ever had the pleasure of knowing. His interactions with everyone he meets, young and old, are so beautiful to watch. I've never met anyone like him before. I'm so happy to see him in this field, as I know the residents feel so special in his presence, and their families have said as much. I think he's found his calling." Justin is also the founder of Rise Against Bullying and is a Kids Help Phone ambassador. He also has a side gig as a drag queen performer. Before you judge drag queens, you need to learn who they are as a person. Thanks for all you do, Justin. You are a gem, unquote. Justin himself addressed his new profession, saying, "The PSW position is so downplayed by the community. Meanwhile, I'm holding your grandmother while she cries on my shoulder because her family won't come to visit her. Meanwhile, I'm caring for your grandfather's personal needs because he's incapable of doing so himself anymore. Meanwhile, I'm holding your mom's hand and combing her hair out of her face because she's scared to die. But she knows her last breath could be any second. We feed, we bathe, we comfort, and we develop personal relationships with people we would have never known unless they needed us. It's so hard to be depended on by one person, let alone multiple people at once. It's a demanding and emotional job, but I do it. I'm not ashamed of doing it, and I do it well." Wow, Justin, I have always said how unappreciated PSWs, nurses, etc. can be. I don't know how you do it. It does indeed take a special talent. I tip my hat to you and all in the field, and you and all in the field of caregiving. And I think that's it. My lips are not moving properly. I need more coffee. So that's it. You're all caught up. Love you both. Lots going on here. I think I've mentioned to you guys there's water in the basement because of the neighbor's friggin' driveway. That's got to be resolved. That's going to take a while. I've had some issues with my mom, but we've worked that out, I think. My pain in my back's been kind of on and off, but I think the stress has contributed to that. So I'm going to visit my sister Kim today. We've got some business to attend to, and then tomorrow I'm just taking it easy. All right, love you. Talk to you later.